Okay then, let's go into our major story of the day. Will members of the National Assembly reconvene tomorrow or next tomorrow? If you remember, Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Yusuf Lasson, says that the lawmakers will reconvene to consider the budget for the 2019 elections. Listen to him now.
Our recess is lawful because this is the time we normally go on long vacation. So that shows that it is not that we ran away from our duties. And it is also important to know that when a budget is made, it's not cast in iron. You either have virements or supplementary budget proposed by the executive. So the executive has proposed a virement of which INEC has taken a front burner. And so we met yesterday. Some leaders of the National Assembly met yesterday with the INEC chairman, and we have decided, and you are going to hear from us, we are likely to reconvene either Tuesday or Wednesday to specifically consider that request.
Well, you heard it. That's the number 2 person in the House of Representatives, the Deputy Speaker, Yusuf Lasson. This growing suspicion, conspiracy theories, and the party politics may be casting shadows over that plan. Without preempting, let's get straight into the discussion and get some clarity tonight on the program. Joining us from our Abuja studio, a panel that will be giving insights into some of the issues that will be raised on the program is the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abdulrazak Namdas, and beside him is the spokesperson of the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time on the program today. Let me begin with you, the spokesperson of the House. Is the National Assembly Hall, let me say, is the House of Representatives reconvening tomorrow?
Thank you, Akimboloye. Certainly, we are not resuming tomorrow, Tuesday. But I can tell you that we are working towards resumption, but not tomorrow specifically. If you listen to the remark of the Deputy Speaker, he said some leadership met, and they're likely that will resume Tuesday or Wednesday. He's talking of likely. So, but I want to tell you that the entire leadership this time around, not just some, the entire leadership will meet and a definite decision will be taken because the National Assembly, as you know, runs a bicameral legislature made up of the House of Representatives and that of the Senate. So I think for us to do anything jointly, and we need to be on the same page, that is the two arms, the two legislature. So I think we will achieve that, and I think very soon, either this night or so, our leaders will be meeting on this matter, and we will make it known to Nigerians when exactly we are resuming, but certainly not tomorrow.
Well, a lot of people who got some kind of confidence from the Deputy Speaker will be wondering if there are any undertones to all of this. What exactly is the politicking about all of this reconvening and the resumption? Because on one hand, there are some lawmakers agitating that the National Assembly should reconvene. What exactly is there that you need to tell us, spokesperson?
We are not actually opposed to the idea of reconvening. And this is not the first time that the National Assembly members are being asked, although in this particular instance, in this regime, this will be the first time. But I think in previous assemblies, this happened, and once anything that comes up for national matters, we will always be there for Nigerians. It's not out of place. But what I'm saying is about the matter of procedure. You see, although the Deputy Speaker made the statement, but I told you, if you listen to him, he said we are likely to sit tomorrow or next. And he says some leaders met. But what I'm saying is that he's talking from the position of the House of Representatives. And what the president wants has to do with the entire National Assembly. What we expected to be done in the House of Representatives is the same thing will be expected in the Senate. So in this case, we have to be in tandem with our brothers in the Senate to take a firm decision. It is not as if we are against anything, but at least anything that happens in the Senate must also have the concurrence of the House of Representatives and vice versa. So I think we would not like to be coming differently. I don't expect also the Senate to come out and say we are appearing on so-so date. And I mean, sometimes the the clerk of the National Assembly in this instance is normally even be the one to speak, because if we are out, this is what happens, because we are on vacation, and sometimes they send mails to us. But I am telling you, there's no underhandling to that. It's a matter of procedure. We will actually consider those things that are expected to be considered.
Is it a must that the two chambers of the National Assembly must resume at the same time? Is it possible that we have the House of Reps resume at a different time because of the exigency of the matter at hand?
I think because of the exigency, it is important that we resume together. We are not opposition to one another. This is a legislature that must be seen to be working as a body, because the procedure in the legislature is a little bit cumbersome. That's why I said, assuming even if this environment thing comes up, and we have a different decision altogether, and the Senate also have a different decision altogether, we still have to have what is called the conference committee that must be put in place so that we will sort out our differences. Because until and unless we are on the same page, we cannot transmit anything to the president for assent. And therefore, why should we be coming differently as if we are opposing one another? We cannot be grandstanding among ourselves for this one is better or this one is not. We will speak as legislators, and we speak as a body. So I think it is very important that we come at the same time, so that even if for the purposes of saving time, our resumption should be such that when we do it once and for all. I think that would be in the interest of Nigeria.
Let me quickly ask Mr. Ologbondiyan. There was a statement from your office saying that there is a fresh plot to detain the two presiding officers as part of the new design to keep them out of circulation. There seems to be some fears in the PDP quarters about this reconvening of the National Assembly. What are the fears of your party?
Well, we have no fears as a party per se, but we are worried as a party that the All Progressives Congress factional chairman, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, has been going about and boasting and making statements that border on crass irresponsibility about the person and the office of the President of the Senate. Also, the Buhari campaign organization has come out to threaten. And we know as a party who has had the privilege of governing this nation for 16 years, that the affairs of the parliament, in this case the National Assembly, and as attested to by Honorable Abdrazak Namdas, the affairs of the National Assembly are conducted within the realm of rules, constitution, and conventions. It is not convenient for one man to thump his chest and say, National Assembly must resume on so and so date, and we must remove so and so presiding officer. So, and mind you, Sheung, that in the recent past, the presiding officers of the Senate have been harassed, they have been intimidated, their residences have been blocked, their residences have been barricaded by officers of the state. In a situation like this, we cannot keep quiet. Where there are fears, we must express them.
We take a moment. We'll look at some of the fears that you have with the issues on the ground about the business of the National Assembly, the one some people refer to as a case of emergency. What next for the National Assembly? Anticipation of their reconvening. That's next on the program, everyone. Join us again.